From Adam West's converted Lincoln Futura to Robert Pattinson's muscle car on steroids, the Batmobile has been a constant companion to the Caped Crusader, evolving with each new iteration of the Dark Knight. But which one truly reigns supreme? And why is there an obsession with Batman's wheels? Why does each new Batman movie have fans chomping at the bit to see what the latest Batmobile looks like? That's what we're here to find out in this video. And like always, if you're new to the channel, here's a quick reminder to please hit the subscribe button. One small click for you, but a huge deal for us. Thanks! Our list starts from the beginning, when the Batmobile was born in 1943. Imagine Batman, the Dark Knight, defender of Gotham, cruising around in a stock 1939 Cadillac Series 75 convertible. Yep, the first Batmobile wasn't exactly striking fear into the hearts of criminals. Under the hood, you had a choice of a 5.7-liter V8 pushing out a whopping 135 horsepower, or if you were feeling frisky, a 5.7-liter V8 with 150 horses. Not exactly tire-shredding performance by today's standards. The only bad feature this ride had was the convertible top. When it was down, it was Bruce Wayne's car. Top up, Batman's on the prowl. Next up came 1949's version, and our boy Bruce upgraded to a 1949 Mercury 8 convertible. Again, nothing special, just a production car that any Joe with deep pockets could buy. This bad boy was packed with a 255 cubic inch flathead V8, churning out about 110 horsepower. Not exactly enough to make the Joker quake in his boots, but it was a step up from the Cadillac. The Mercury 8 did have one advantage over its predecessor. It was faster. With a top speed of around 95 miles per hour, it could at least keep up with most of the bad guys' getaway cars. Still, as Batmobiles go, it was about as exciting as a trip to the DMV. Then in 1966, Adam West's Batman hit the screens, and with him came the first honest-to-goodness purpose-built Batmobile. This beast was based on the 1955 Lincoln Futura concept car, customized by the legendary George Barris. Yeah, the one we mentioned at the start of the video that sold for $1. This 66 Batmobile was pure, unadulterated comic book fantasy brought to life. It had the fins, the bubble canopies, the bat-face grille, the works. This baby packed some serious heat under the hood for that time. We're talking about an atomic turbine engine. Well, a Ford V8 made to look like one, capable of pushing this 5,500-pound beast to speeds of over 100 miles per hour. But the real magic was in the gadgets. Bat turn lever, check. Oil slick dispensers, you bet. Bat phone, of course. This Batmobile set the template for everyone to come. It established that Batman's ride wasn't just transportation, it was a character in its own right, a rolling arsenal of justice that was as much as part of the Dark Knight's legend as the cape and cowl. The 66 Batmobile might look quaint by today's standards, but make no mistakes, this was the car that launched the legend. When Tim Burton's Batman hit theaters in 1989, it brought with it a Batmobile that was light years ahead of its predecessors. This sleek black beast was the perfect match for Michael Keaton's dark, brooding Batman. At nearly 20 feet long, the Batmobile was a true road warrior. Built on a Chevy Impala chassis with a Chevy V8 engine, it packed some serious muscle under its jet fighter-inspired body. The front-mounted jet intake wasn't just for show. This bad boy could hit speeds that would make your average sports car weep. But speed was not the only trick up the Batmobile's sleeve. It came equipped with disc launchers, machine guns, and even grappling hook system for tight turns. And let's not forget the Bat Missile mode. When the going got tough, this Batmobile could shed its outer shell and squeeze through tight spaces. The '89 Batmobile set a new standard for what Batman's ride could be. This design was a decade ahead of its time. Next up, when Val Kilmer took over the cape and cowl in 1995, the Batmobile got a serious makeover. The Batman Forever Batmobile was like something straight out of a fever dream, all curves, fins, and glowing bits. This 25-foot-long monster was built on a Chevy 350 ZZ3 high-performance motor, but the real showstopper was its ability to drive up walls. This Batmobile could go vertical and defy gravity. The ribbed bodywork housed a whole array of gadgets and gizmos. We're talking illuminated wheels, a grappling hook, and even a sonar surveillance system. And those Batwing fins? They helped with maneuverability at high speeds. Love it or hate it, you can't deny that the Batman Forever Batmobile pushed the boundaries of what a superhero car could be. It was flashy, it was over the top, and it was unmistakably Batman. Now some of our favorites. In 2005, Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins gave us a whole new take on the Dark Knight, and with it, a radically different Batmobile, the Tumbler. Who would have thought that such an advanced vehicle could be made? It was a cross between a Lamborghini and a tank. Built for the military's bridge building program, the Tumbler was a machine designed for war, not style, and it showed. Powered by a 5.7-liter Chevy V8 engine, the Tumbler could hit 60 miles per hour in a blistering 5.6 seconds. Not bad for something weighing 2.5 tons. This beast could jump up to 30 feet and had an inch-thick armor plating and packed in dual front autocannons. Well, if you remember the scene where Batman jumped from one building to another in the Batmobile, fans went wild for that scene where it jumps from rooftop to rooftop. The coolest feature is the Batpod escape motorcycle, hidden in the front axle. When things got too hot, Batman could eject from the Tumbler onto his two-wheeled terror machine. The Tumbler might not have been pretty, but it was perfect fit for Nolan's gritty, realistic take on Batman. This was a real war machine for Batman's one-man war on crime. However, when Ben Affleck's grizzled Batman rolled onto the scene in 2016, he brought with him a Batmobile that looked ready for the apocalypse. This beast was a perfect blend of Burton's sleekness and Nolan's militaristic approach, clocking in at a hefty 20 feet long and 12 feet wide. The Affleck Mobile was no slouch in the size department. But don't let its bulk fool you. This 7,000-pound monster could move. With a top speed north of 200 miles per hour, it could leave most supercars in its dust. This Batmobile was kitted out with more tech than a Silicon Valley startup. It has stealth capabilities, night vision, and forensic scanner, and even electromagnetic pulse projectiles. And for when things got really hairy, it packed some serious firepower. Twin guns mounted on the hood, and a harpoon for, well, we're not sure what, but it looks badass. The cockpit is where things get really interesting. It's got a 360-degree rotation system that make an attack helicopter jealous. Batman's got eyes everywhere in this thing, and with the bulletproof canopy, he might as well be sitting in Fort Knox. It's got more defensive tricks than a UFC champion, EMP blasters to fry enemy electronics, smoke screens to disappear like a ninja, and armor that can shrug off anything short of a nuke. Look, I've seen a lot of mean machines in my time, but the Affleck Mobile, it's in a league of its own. Now here's a curveball for you. In the TV series Gotham, we see a young Bruce Wayne before he becomes a full-fledged Batman, and his ride? A souped-up 2019 Ford Mustang GT. Before he got into custom-built war machines, young Bruce was tearing up Gotham streets in Detroit muscle. But this wasn't your average Mustang. Under the hood, we're looking at a 5.0-liter V8 pushing out a hefty 460 horsepower. The body was beefed up with some custom panels, giving it a more aggressive, almost armored look, or we can say 100% bulletproof vehicle. It might not have had all the bells and whistles of later Batmobiles, but it was a perfect fit for a Batman still finding his wheels. Just when we thought we'd seen every possible iteration of the Batmobile, along comes Matt Reeves, the Batman, with a whole new take. Robert Pattinson's Batman doesn't cruise around in a high-tech tank or a sleek supercar. No, he's gone back to basics with what can only be described as the world's angriest muscle car. At first glance, the Pattinson Mobile looks like it could have rolled straight out of Mad Max. It's got chunky tires, an exposed engine, and battle scars. This is a car that's been through some stuff. The base appears to be heavily modified, 69 Dodge Charger, but calling this a Charger is like calling the Tumbler a Humvee. Every inch of the beast has been customized, from the reinforced ram bar at the front to the jet afterburner at the back. This Batmobile might look old school, but it's packing some serious modern tech. That massive V8 engine isn't just for show. It's hooked up to a jet turbine that can spit flames and provide some serious additional thrust when needed. What really sets the Pattinson Mobile apart is its raw, aggressive design. This is a car designed to strike fear into the hearts of criminals just by the sound of its engine. When this thing comes roaring down the streets of Gotham, the bad guys know they're in for a world of hurt. And that's a wrap. So which Batmobile gets your motor running? Are you a sucker for the classic curves of the '89 Keaton-mobile? Or do you prefer the raw, militaristic power of the Tumbler? Maybe you're all about the retro '66 charm. And let's not forget about functionality. Which Batmobile do you think would actually work best in Gotham's mean streets? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button